After our first really long road trip, we noticed a consistent problem with this cutting board here. I'm not sure if others are having this problem, but we certainly are. What I've noticed is that if you leave this cutting board sitting in any sort of hot environment, which the van does get hot occasionally, it really warps very badly, and it tends to curve up, which makes it fit into the sink very poorly. And you go around a corner with any sort of speed, this thing just comes sliding right out, comes flying up and hitting the back of the seat or the passengers. So it's actually a little bit dangerous. And so besides being annoying, this is definitely something I want to try and fix. My idea for fixing this, I bounced around a few ideas, but the one I think I'm going to go with is to use some magnets. This is a stainless steel sink, and I thought magnets would stick to it pretty well. It turns out they don't. Except at the corners. There's apparently some enough metal in the corners here that the magnets stick pretty well. So what I'm going to do is just get a few little coin-sized neodymium magnets, drill a little bit of a recessed hole into the edge of the cutting board here, put the magnets in the four corners, and hopefully that should stick it down to the sink reasonably well and keep me from getting hit in the back of the head with a flying cutting board. Back in the workshop, I've taken the cutting board off, and what I'm going to do is I've got some 15 millimeter diameter, 2 millimeter thick magnets here, just a stack of 4 of those guys. I've measured in 16 millimeters from each corner. I'm just going to drill a hole to recess these magnets in and then glue them in place. So we should have one magnet in each corner, and hopefully that will hold it down a little better. Okay, holes are drilled in the 4 corners. They're of course a little dished because of the drill bit, so I'm just going to use a simple wood bit on my Dremel to kind of even those out, make them flat for the magnets to insert. Okay, a little Dremel tool action, and I've got the holes set so the magnets sit nicely recessed in there. So now just apply a little glue these guys down and see how it works. All 4 magnets glued into place, and now we'll just let it dry and give it a test. Here we are back in the van, so now's the time for the final test. Got all the magnets set and glued on, nice and recessed. Now we'll see if this thing actually does anything to hold it in place. Well, it seems like this thing warped while it was sitting there in that direction. Yeah, it does a little bit to hold it in, but it is not very stable. So I'll have to think of something else. Well, if one set of magnets doesn't stick, upgrade to bigger magnets. So what I did is I got another set of magnets here. These ones are 20 millimeters in diameter. Theoretically have 25 pounds of holding force each. I doubt they'll have that much when attaching to the stainless steel sink, but it'll be more than the others. So I widened the holes here from 15 millimeters to 20 millimeters. Countersunk them a little deeper with the magnet. These magnets are so thick that I can't countersink them completely flush because the board would get too thin. So they'll stick out a little, but hopefully they should have enough force to hold it down. So now we'll just glue these in place and see what it does. Okay, the magnets are all glued in and it's dried, so time to give it a test. Let's see if this thing sticks any better. Yeah, there's definitely, there's a lot more tension here. It's probably about 4 or 5 pounds of force to break this thing free. So I think that should be a lot more solid and prevent this thing from coming flying out. It is a little... It snaps down on 3 out of the 4. The 4th one, it's probably because the cutting board is a little warped. It tends to warp a little bit with heat and wetness. But it will stick in 3 out of the 4 at least. So, pretty good fix.